right, all praise to the Most High Yahweh, and to His Son, my brother, Amashiach Yahushai. Peace and blessings to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. All right, in this video, this is going to be a video about a simple understanding of who is Beta Israel. So, we have some brothers and sisters that are Negro only, that have a understanding of certain things when dealing with groupings of people in Africa. So my understanding is that there's are there are many groups of people that are dark complexion. Even Edom, Ishmael, Midian, Japhet, a lot of groups and races of people are dark complexion people. So real quick, we're just gonna look into a couple of groups of the Edomites. So real quick as I can, I'm gonna explain to you the overall understanding of these groupings, and we're gonna just like I'm gonna do like a sneak preview of haplogroups because this is not my thing on this channel. My channel is to just comments, comment or do thoughts or very random rants and stuff. So recently, a camp did a video. I made a comment. They deleted, which is common. It's very common, and it's not anything nasty that I'm saying. All my comments are general comments based off of DNA information that is fact. So we're gonna get into that. So the question is, who are Beta Israel, aka the Falasha people in East Africa and Ethiopia? So real quick, we're gonna get into a couple of the Ethiopian groups and figure out who these people are that the Negro only groups are trying to connect themselves to. Not not saying all the Negro only groups are trying to say that the Ethiopian Jews or the Beta Israel people are Israelites, but there's one particular group, and on this channel we don't get involved with you know other people content when it comes to name calling and everything. We just want to highlight my information that I'm trying to share and edify people with. Um, I'm pro information. I'm pro, better understanding all the new information versus the old. It take part of the old and pair it with the new information, pair it with precepts and scripture, and let's move on to prepare for the kingdom. Con, all right. So we're gonna scroll down. So real quick for people that don't know who are the Israelites. The Israelites are basically a group of people that derive from Jacob. Jacob became Israel. Israel is basically a family group, and that family group became a nation in Egypt. So the content of their existence and their essence derive from a source, and that source is content of the Nile Valley region The Nile River itself and the Nile Valley region source content comes from the Great Lakes of Africa. So when you understand that basic part of the beginning of the content of DNA product, then you'll better understand who, what, where, and when. So real quick, a few groups of West African tribes or people that our people will definitely say it is Israel. We're gonna go to, and let me scroll down. So this is a haplogroup chart of many people groups of North and West Africa. You got some parts of East Africa, but this is like a overall general charting samples from different tribes of people and regions in Africa. So this is your sub-Sahara haplogroup chart. So we're gonna scroll down to groups dealing with who will immediately say is Israel. So we're gonna get to those people groups. Let's see. Which one do I want to use? Okay. Let's see. Who do I want to volunteer for this? Okay, how about this? Let's go with the groups that are Bantu based. So we are going to go with the Bantoid, the Bamileke, and the Bantus Gabon people. So according to these groupings of people, these two, the haplogroup that they come from is the E1B1A grouping. So the E1B1A grouping of people is dealing with the DNA marker and grouping of Israelites. That's your official grouping of documentation of Israelites. And I don't have time to get into the background of that data and that information, but it's a interesting um, background story. But nevertheless, we're just trying to figure out who are these people real quick. So E1B1A is your Israelite, your Shemitic Israelite grouping of people. So we have to see if these are other groups of people. So real quick, we're gonna scroll up. This is your entry level understanding of haplogroups. So these markers at the top are your sample sample groups. Those are the haplogroups that they are looking for, or they test it for. So the A group is dealing with a Hermetic group of people. The B group is dealing with another Hermetic grouping of people. The E1A is dealing with your Shemitic Ishmaelite group. Your E1B1A group is dealing with your Shemitic Israelite group. Your E1B1B group is dealing with your Shemitic Edomite group. Your E2 is dealing with your Shemitic Midianite group. Your J is dealing with the first grouping of your sets of Japhetic people. So J is the first group that we have within Africa that is a haplogroup of Japhet. R1b is another grouping of people dealing with Japhet. And then you have T, another grouping of people dealing with Japhet. And then on the side, you have notations of other groupings. Let's see if we can find some. The I is dealing with another group of Japhet. The R1A is dealing with another group of Japhet. And we should have some more. O is also dealing with another grouping of Japhet. Now, I heard and I've seen other people label the R group, at least the R group, as a hybrid. And the reason why they call it a hybrid because this is the group that everybody is getting confused with. This group right here, and there's other groups like Japhet is a group of people that have extraordinary mutations. So it's not just this group, it's multiple groups of Japhet that have the ability to create different complexion types. But back to the original um, content of this video. So now we know, once again, now we know what we're looking for. So real quick, what we're looking for in this first grouping is the amount of E1B1A samples. So real quick, we got right here, this is a uh, column number 1, column number 2, column number 3, column number 4 would be your E1B1A. So we're going to go back to the people group, and we're going to go down to the Bantoids. So the Bamileke and the Bantus of Gabon. So let's see if they are E1B1A. So as you can see right here, real quick, Bamileke on top and the Gabon people on the bottom. And look at the percentages. So these are your E1B1A people. These are your Shemitic Israelite people. So now we go back over here. And now we get into who are the Beta Israel people. So on here, dealing with those people from that region, you have a lot of choices to go into. So um, there's a lot of terms or groupings and ethnic groups and classes of people that many of these groups of people are associated with. But overall, they tend to do this for a cover, possibly because like some of these terms don't directly match their the content that they are being exposed as. But nevertheless, we are going to still get into some quick information about some of these titles. So these people that we want to associate ourselves with from East Africa tend to be mostly Shemitic than Hamitic. And these same people have multiple group titles and everything, you know. So these are Shemitic people that are trying to hide hide their titles and everything. So we are gonna get into who these people are. So um, sometimes these uh, groupings, they tend to go under Afro-Asiatic. Um, as you can see right here, they'll go by the country, Ethiopia. Some of them will go by Semitic. So what we are looking at, and the same thing with the Cushitic, they'll go as Ham, you know. So what we are gonna do, where's Beta Israel? It's Ethiopian Jews on this one. So on this one, as you can see, they double down on being Afro-Asiatic and Semitic, and then Ethiopian Jews. So we're gonna take. Uh, are we gonna do this? Okay, I want to make a point because um, I think there's a lot of people that are. I don't think it's on here, but nevertheless, I could do the Somali people. I could do the Somali people. So we could do the Somali people. And the interesting thing is, so you have South African whites. So let's do both of these at the same time to make a quick point. So the Somalis right here, on here. So now you have uh, a Hamitic group being told that they are Afro-Asiatic. So these are Hamitic and Shemitic people right here at this point. And then you have the white people. According to many people in Israel, white people are um, Edom. Now, remember what I said about Edom, about the haplogroup. So we are going to see who these people are. So my comment was dealing with who exactly was Beta Israel. And in my comment, I was like, well, that grouping of people or a split group of people between Ham and Edom, because that's how they use Beta Israel to put this Limba hoax together. So there's a, a interesting story about how we got to this information dealing with DNA to begin with. So other than that, we're not going to get into that, but we are going to see who these people are. So the first two group, when you are looking at the A and the B group, these are your Hermetic group stock of haplogroups. The top one, the Somali people, is supposed to be at least at 50% with this group, with these two groups. At least 20 in one column and another 30 or something in the other column at least, but they are not. So these are very, very low counts on the Hermetic chart or column. So we move on over to the Shemitic grouping, and so you are dealing with your Shemitic Ishmaelite group, and these are low numbers. And then we move over to the next column E1B1A, still low numbers. And now with the Somali group of people, you have E1B1B 77.6. versus the South African white people, 9.6. So, which of these people are Edomites according to the chart information? The Somali people. So, we are going to see how much more do these groups have. So, now we get further down the chart, we find out that the South African white people are Japhetic people, R1A, 51.6 R1A, and then others is unknown. So, so we have that. South African whites, and scroll back down. So there are not that many Edomites in that column, but once you get to the Japhetic grouping, you have the half amount of the test pool. So we are gonna go back up. Now that we have basic understanding of groups and stuff, we're gonna go to the Ethiopian Jews. Ethiopian Jews. Did I pass it? Yeah, I passed it. Okay. So these are Semitic, Afro-Asiatic people, and right away you have a heavy content of A group. So that's a good number to have for a Hamitic stock. The B group is nothing. The E1A is nothing. The E1B1A is nothing. And then we get to E1B1B, and it's at 50. 50. And then the remaining groups, um, E2 is nothing. J is at 5. R1B is at 0. T is at 5. So these are the people that the Negro only is trying to align themselves with. I don't know for sure, but um, at least one camp is taking on Hamitic people in Edom within their fold. And that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. So here on this chart, this is a beautiful basic chart to learn who are our people with. Uh, once you learn the other names that they call the E1B1A grouping, then you'll eventually get an understanding of who and where our people are eventually. Now, I've been studying this for a while, and there's a lot of branches. Like, there's a branch chart that you could get into, and the branches go into all the different groupings of people. And eventually, if you get a real good understanding, you'll be able to locate everybody tribe according to the DNA branches. Other than that, um, that's a tough thing to get into right here, right now. Let's see. Um, I can scroll down the E1B1A chart to show you a few of the other higher counts. So there's a 95 count, and that's dealing with the Beni Fon people. The Fon people, um, I wish I had, like, off the top of my head, I wish I knew exactly the tribe without looking at my paperwork. But this group is a interesting group. Um, Other than that, a lot of the information when you get to certain groups, especially with the high percentages, there's some very good news and then there's some very sad bad news about these people. Other than that, hopefully, um, y'all would do y'all research on these people groups and their history and go deeper into what I'm trying to tell y'all. Then we have a 81, Burkina Faso, um, and then we have a 93, Cameroon. So once again, I want to just say all praise to the Most High Yahweh and to His Son, my brother, Amashiach Yahweh Shai. And once again, peace and blessings to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. Hopefully, this video has been um, a blessing to you and to your edification of learning who and where our people are. And hopefully, I'll continue to view my content. I'm not asking for likes or subs. I'm just asking for y'all to collect the information accordingly and piece it together with your learning and your understanding at your own pace. Thank you once again.